is Metal Jane, and welcome to another tank review. Today we are looking at the T-10, also known as the IS-8. Changed this name and changed some of its turret as well as some other things. I'm not really gonna compare it to the old IS-8. I'm just gonna do a fresh review here. So let's start with the armor. 120 upper plate, 120 lower plate. Don't really expect much from the hull though, as most tanks at tier 9 will have around 250 pen, and they'll just be able to shit on this hull no matter what angle you really show at them. You can't really angle this hull either, as it's the pike nose, and no matter what way you angle it, you'll always have a weakness somewhere, and the lower plate is always pretty much bad, no matter what angle you show it. The turret, however, is a much improved turret from the IS-8. You have actual pretty good frontal armor now. The gun mantlet is ridiculous, pretty Russian standard here, with some values like fucking 1000 in here somewhere, like, yeah, there you go, 1075, because mathematic. But yeah, you kind of expect that, I guess, with this shape gun mantlet, but the rest of the turret is much better than it used to be. You can't really get penned through the front of the turret anymore, and the armor in general is much better. As you see, the weakest parts of the turret are like 260 or so, so it's good enough. The turret roof is still a thing for the armor here, so it's an auto pen for 120 mil guns, which is annoying, but can be avoided by using the maximum gun depression here. The driver's hatch is also weaker, but it's angled extremely well, and it's not an auto pen, so you shouldn't really worry about that too much, as it is actually a pretty good, well, the best armored zone in the hull there is, just because of the ridiculous angle it's at. When we come to the side armor, there is not really much to say here. I mean, it's pretty Russian, and you have 80 on the bottom with 20 armor on the tracks, so it's not really enough. But then you have this fucking retard-proof side armor with the 30 spaced and 120 actual armor. So whenever people shoot your sides in any kind of angle, they're gonna get shit on, and their shots are just gonna disappear in the fucking Russian black hole. But yeah, the rest of the tank is there's not really a lot of armor here. The back armor is pretty weak as well, so you can't get like HE penned by T-49s and shit if you let them get behind you, so that is also a thing. And the cupolas, while not being very strong, as you can see, it still can bounce some shots, and people generally just don't aim at them anyways because of the turret roof. I mean, it depends on what's shooting you, but hull down this tank is definitely much improved over the IS-8. When we talk about the gun depression, it's 5 degrees all around, so there's nothing really too interesting here. So let's talk about the rest of the stats while looking at the replay, so let's go and do that. Here we go, there's the replay, but as always, let's start by looking into some stats. So first of all, 1800 hit points, not a lot for a tier 9 heavy, only the French probably get less. But top speed forwards 50, backwards 15, really healthy for a heavy tank for sure. Engine power 750, horsepower per ton 14.75, which is almost a medium tank standard. It's probably better than on tanks like the E50. The traverse speed 30 degrees per second, also pretty healthy, especially for a heavy tank. Terrain resistance is nothing really out of the ordinary. It's worse than on the WZ11114, at least on the hard terrain and the medium, and it's better than the SD1 as to be expected. View range 400 meters, as healthy as it gets for heavy tanks. Turret traverse 26 degrees, not too bad either. When we get to the gun, it's the classic Russian 122 that you used on all the tier 9s and some of the tier 10s as well. So 440 alpha, 258 pen, really good penetration on this gun compared to some other heavy tanks, and the standard DPM is 2147, one of the best, I would imagine, out of all the tier 9 heavy tanks. It's even better than on the WZ11114, and it's much better than on tanks like the SD1 and the E75 and stuff. When it comes to the actual gun stats, 0.38 accuracy and 2.8 second aiming time, pretty decent as well for a heavy tank. So in general, all the stats are not really matching a heavy tank, but more like a medium, so that is kind of how you want to play this tank as well. You want to play it more like a hull down medium than a heavy tank. It is slightly slower than, well, it's quite a bit slower than medium tanks like, for say, the T-54 and stuff, but then again, you do actually finally carry that unpenetrable turret and and that 122 gun compared to the T-54's 100mm, which is a really big improvement. In general, this tank only got really better with the change of name, because, you know, the better turret really makes a big difference, and the gun also feels a bit more responsive now, and you don't really have to aim as much as you kind of did with the IS-8. So overall, the T-10 really has what it takes to be the best tier 9 heavy tank. If you don't mind your tier 9 heavy tank to not have a lot of armor, it cannot really compete in brawls against SD1s and E75s unless you can go hull down, and when you can go hull down, then this thing can compete with anything in the game easily. And now just aiming for the long shot there on the 88, which I do manage to kill there as well. The equipment you use on this is more medium than heavy tank equipment, so rammer, revert stabs, and coated optics is my choice. With 400 meter view range, you probably want to carry that anywhere you go. That shot went absolutely nowhere though. And for crew skills, there's nothing really special about this tank. As always, 6th sense, repairs, smooth right snapshot, situational awareness, recon, and like the good skills, not the bad ones, you know. Pretty shitty fight here at the moment. Like, the C-75 is such a pain in the ass for me to deal with. As you can see, like, you can't really push on, and your gun depression is limited to 5 degrees, so there's not really much you can do. I do get the pretty good pen here, but he obviously still has a repair kit as the game has just started, and he doesn't really have to worry about my armor too much. He does go for the rush on me, which might be decent for him if he can get me to his side. Like, if he can get me into the turret, and he can easily do that. As you can see, my angle is pretty poor in this way, but I'm trying to get his ammo rack with every shot I fire, and hopefully I will succeed at that. And yeah, he tries to get away from me. It was really bad for him to try to go besides me, and he will pay pretty badly for it. And now he doesn't even have gun depression to shoot me anymore, it seemed. So yeah, I do pick up that one. I did take 1000 damage in the process, but you can't really get away from a fight like that without taking a scratch. Our team managed to all go to the middle of the map and die, so we are in a losing situation here. And also, what's annoying about this is that we need to go back. There's probably 704 camping base that is going to clean up the 5120 in the Centurion. And what's the most annoying part about this is that they still have Artie, so this does not look very good at the moment, but hopefully we can pull it back. And now this shot isn't very good, and I don't really want to sit here and aim it forever, as well as the guy was beginning to get into cover, so I took a shot a bit too quickly there and didn't hit it. But now this 704 is going to be a problem later on in this game. For now, if I can ignore it, I will, but you know, taking a blind shot there doesn't hurt me at all. As long as I don't get spotted, that is. Now, the 103 we can see is stuck. The MT-25 is there as well, but that should be a problem for later. Now we want to deal with the 103 and the T-34 if we can. Preferably without being shot too much, and ideally without being spotted for the RD to shit on me either. And now the Yak Dagger's ass is a pretty good target for me. Take a bit of a snapshot there. For a second I thought that might have been his front, but it is not, and he's not really gonna have a chance. Now he turns his front, but I do manage to aim before he does, so I kill him first. Now a pretty lucky bounce of the 704. I couldn't really go forwards before this. Now I can do whatever I want, and do pick up the kill on the T-34 as well. So you can see the gun performs reasonably well. Not that the old IS-8 had the bad gun handling, but this one seems slightly better. Also, the DPM on this tank for a heavy tank is pretty damn healthy, and like can't really compare this gun to the gun of the SD1, but at the same time you can't really compare the hull armor to the SD1 either. So these are the two different tanks with two different roles in the game. And now I do pick up the capper as well. Now we have the 103, the 704, and the RD left. The 103 was stuck, which is nice for me, and if I can find him hull down here, maybe I can actually kill him without taking any damage from him. I have to get really lucky not to get shit on by RD here. The good news about shooting the 103's turret here now is that obviously the stock turret has a bigger weak spot on top of it, and it's not too hard to hit. I do bounce his shot, but Artie with a miss does 400 damage. Fucking tier 8 French Artie with a miss shot does 400 damage. Fucking legit, fair and balanced, boys. Why not, man? He was really skilled to miss me there, I guess, so I'll take that damage. And luckily the 103 doesn't pen me, and I do end up picking his health up as well. Now it's me and two Centurion and KV-13 against the full health 704. Not really a greatest fight ever for our team if I die, so the thing I need to do in this game is just to stay alive. The general kind of style you want to play this tank is, it's kind of a medium-heavy hybrid, so whenever possible you want to play it like a medium, but obviously if you don't have a choice and you're on a city map, you go for the brawling. You always want to try to get the hull down position and, you know, not get shot in the fucking hull, as that tends to ammo rack you and set you on fire frontally as well. So getting shot is not good in this, as it's not good in any tank, but yeah, playing this as a medium can work out really well for you, as well as the mobility kind of allows it, and the gun is good enough for that as well. And some medium tanks can actually struggle to pen your frontal hull unless they go for the lower plate, like in T-54 or E-50. They can actually find it, they can struggle to pen your hull if they're either bad players or something. I'm gonna speed this shit up because we need to wait for two oranges to make their way across the map. Nothing really I can do at this point, just wait till the 704 gets spotted until I'm in full clear. I'm the only one who is a one-shot for the 704. Both of the other guys can take easily 2 shots, so I'm just gonna sit here and wait until he gets spotted. And since relocating it for me isn't really a problem, I should be able to do this properly. The 704 was sitting at the back of the map for some reason instead of in the bushes, so he didn't see them coming, and now, I mean, even without me, they probably would have won in this case, but anyways, we're gonna get in there and secure the win and the kills if we can. I'm trying to get this shot on the Artie, but no go there, at least not yet. I'm gonna push up, there's no real reason to stay here. The 704 will never get a shot on me unless I want him to get a shot on me anyway, so we're just gonna be pushing forwards and trying to get an angle on that 704, but meanwhile the Artie peeks in the open, so we do pick up his crappy ass fucking hit points as well, and we make him mad as well, so it's all good, it's all good. He deserved that for that fucking 400 damage miss. And now this is a pretty easy fight at this point. I mean, the 704 has not done any damage and these guys are all on him. The KV-13, if he was a bit smarter, he would flank him, but he isn't a bit smarter, so he's just sitting there and trying to pen a 704 with like 130 pen. The 704 didn't, like, he was still moving and turning, so I wasn't really threatened there. Unless he got ridiculously lucky, I would have, there was no way he would have shot me there, and now he's turning to shoot the Centurion, so there's another option for me, but not really fully aimed shot, then it hits his track because, you know, Russian magnets and shit, and now the 704 actually did look at me. But again, with turning all the time, he doesn't really have a lot of chances to pen me here, and maybe a bit too greedy now, but it seems that the Centurion would have handled him anyways, and I do manage to get out of the way in time for him to not get a good shot in my turret, so I do actually manage to bounce the 704 shot, and now it should be an easy kill, but hey, magnets, how do they work? I don't think I even have a reload on this 704, but again, he might be just looking at somebody else, and as I said, like, the Centurion is likely to pick his heal up anyways, and he shoots and misses. I guess he saw the top of my cupola or something, but we do pick up the kill, and the game is over. And here's the end plate. Ace Tanker, 1956 experience with premium count, top gun, high caliber, and that's one of the bounced medals or some shit, I don't even know. 5,583 damage done. I did hit the blind shot on the 80, whatever the fuck it was, 88. 1,304 base experience, 7 kills as well. The T-10, ladies and gentlemen, definitely one of my favorite tier 9 heavy tanks. But that's mostly because I like to play the faster tanks anyways. If you're looking for a really good brawler here, you're not gonna find it. But medium heavy tank hybrid like this is something I really appreciate in the game. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you on the next one.